menus and scenes. Okay. Basically, we have a main menu now. You can. There's two buttons. Here's a room. Here's leaving the room. This is loading a new scene, and also we have a pause menu now. Wow, look at it, pause menu. You can also return to the main menu through the pause menu. It's an infinite loop. Anyways, yeah. So, first of all, I guess, alright, so let's start with main menu. Basically, make a new scene in Unity, just right click in the hierarchy, kinda, not the hierarchy actually, but the assets thing. Go to create, go to scene, blah blah, new scene, main menu. Over here, add a canvas by, well actually add a panel, go into UI and then click panel. Now I'll give you this canvas and event system, and this panel. This is the panel. I renamed it something else though. I'm not actually sure what the event system does, but it doesn't work without the event system, so just keep that there and don't worry about too much, I guess. You can add text by going to UI again and text. Text Mesh Pro will give you like more stuff in like settings, but I'm just going to stick with the defaults because I'm not really going to mess with it yet. Yeah, change your text in here, font, style, blah blah, blah blah, color, you know how text works. By the way, for the back, I should have done this part first, but anyways, for the panel, just, you can change the source image into a sprite, but this sprite is literally just one flat color, so I don't think you actually need to. Here's the color stuff. Make sure to get alpha all the way over here, so then it's not transparent, and you can also pick a color from that menu. Yeah. Let's see. Alright, let's do buttons. Alright, so to make a button, just again, right-click, UI, and then button. Click that. And we'll make one of these. Let's see. If you open it, there'll be a little text on it automatically. You can, again, same thing with the text stuff. And then here, the important parts really are just, there's the normal color of the button, you can change that, and then the highlighted color of the button, which is the color when you put your cursor over the button, and then the pressed color for when you click on the button, and then change navigation to none, and you have a button, and then just copy paste that and then right click instead and move it down a little. And just make, I ended up making a new empty game object and just called it menu and then stuck a script on that. Technically, I think you could just like put the script on the background panel instead, and that would do basically the same thing. Just make sure your buttons are children of whatever you put the script on. And do that, just drag and drop on top of it, and it'll look like this in the hierarchy. Hop over that script. Alright, so the script is basically, make sure to add Unity Engine.scene management, that's the thing that's like about managing scenes. Two public voids, one for play game and one for quit game. The quit game does the quit thing. I've been told this line will make your application quit. It won't actually do it in the player though, so this is a thing that'll like just send a little quit print thing to your console, so you know that when you press the button, a thing happened. And then here for play game, this is basically loading in your scene, and then this is load scene async, which is what I will explain over here. So basically, if you go up to File and then go to Build Settings, you can press Add Open Scenes until you got all your scenes in there and like drag them around until they're in the right order, and main menu is 0, so in the script. So this is basically grabbing the number of the scene. In my case, it's +2 because I have a scene additive. It might be +1 in whatever you're doing. Speaking of scene additive, where did where did my scenes go? Here, okay. So like, for example, level 1 is just a room, but if you go to open scene additive, you can put your player in here, scene additive, so then you have both of these scenes kind of overlaid with each other, and in additive you see it's just the player, and this is the basically this is the pause menu stuff. And so then you could just keep loading in the player on top of like each level, so you don't have to like keep remaking the player. I think there's another way to do this with prefabs. People keep throwing the word prefab around. I don't know what it means, but if this method doesn't work, you can maybe check that out, I guess. Anyways, let's see. Speaking of, here is level 1. Oh, actually, never mind. Let me go back a bit. For the player, add a... Well, first of all, if you drag and drop the main camera onto the player, the camera will follow your player. That's what I forgot to mention last video. And then add a box collider through Add a Component Box Collider 2D. You can edit the edges through Edit Collider. I made it a little shorter than the full sprite because it's a bit weird if you bop your head against the door and immediately teleport to a new scene. That's about it though. Yeah, sure, talk about pause menu. Basically exact same stuff as the main menu, except now there's like a resume button and also pause menu script. Here's the pause menu script. You see in this case it's on the canvas, and you know. You just basically put it on the, you can attach a script to like anything that's apparent to your button system. Alright, so first of all, there's a bool of isPause that is false by default, and then there's the GameObject pause menu UI. That's basically the pause menu thing that will pop up when you excuse me, when you hit the pause. For our button is just the down, is just escape key, because that's what I expect it to be. That's what most people expect it to be. Here's all this stuff about the buttons. This one is, it'll load in the main menu scene. That's, oh, by the way, add scene management up here because of that one. This one's pausing time when time is paused. No, it's pausing time when your pause menu is up, and so time scale set to 0, and then you can see here it's set to 1F, which is like the normal time scale of time passing. The same stuff for quit, and resume is basically just you stop being paused, time goes back to normal, blah blah blah, UI goes away, all that. Yeah. Oh, right, for buttons, in order to add a thing, like a function onto them, for buttons to work, just go to on-click and then hit the little plus button. In this case, we don't need it, so I'm going to unclick it, but it'll bring up this little thing. And just whatever thing you have the script attached to, whatever game object that is, just click and drag and drop it down onto here. And then here you see, we can see the pause menu right here, that's the script. And these are all our public voids, basically. I think, something like that. Click whatever one is applicable. For example, for resume, it'd be resume, menu would be main menu, blah, 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 all that stuff. And then, nope, wrong one, here, okay. And you see here, make sure the pause menu UI, since it's a public thingamajig, you need to actually put it in here, so it would be basically just drag and drop all of this stuff, the panel onto here. Yeah. Main menu scene, just this is the name of whatever scene, like your main menu is called. In my case, it's main menu. I think that's it. Oh, wait, right. This is going to be checked by default. You need to uncheck it, otherwise it'll show up automatically as soon as you start the game, and it'll just be really weird. Last thing for this video is colliders. Remember when we added a collider to our player like a couple of minutes ago because I do things out of order? Yeah, this is why. So basically, this door has a box collider 2D on it. You can see it here. It's a box, covers the door. It is a trigger, which means when you touch it, things will happen. In our case, it's, nope, that was the wrong button, okay. In our case, it's the script. Add a script to it, load it in a new area. And so this stuff basically means that, also as scene manager, This stuff basically means that when your player hits the box, it'll do this stuff. It'll load a new scene, it'll load your player scene in async, all that good stuff, blah. And then the tile basically has an edge collider on it. I think, yeah, edge collider, which it takes a bit of finagling, but just make sure each edge has an edge. That made more sense in my head. But basically this means your player can't just run off the map. I think that's it. And so yeah, you have a way you can walk around and be trapped in a box. And oh no, things just got weird. Okay, things kind of get weird with colliders. I'm pretty sure Edge is like not the ideal collider to be using in this case, but yeah, it's the one I'm using so far, so I think you probably just put like a box collider along each edge and that would probably work out better, but don't worry about too much. Anyways. And you can pause stuff, unpause. That's your using the escape key that you can't see I am pressing, or you can just resume there, and then that'll take you back to menu, etc. If you hit quit, you can see that does the quit message. Yeah.